Hello, guys. Welcome to Esther's Diary, where stories are told, testimony are shared, and lessons I learned from me and my respective guests. Guys, today I have an interesting topic I want to talk about. As you may see by the title, I named it The Girl Who Never Stayed. So, just stick around, you're gonna understand why. 2 weeks ago, I was having a conversation with a classmate, and she was telling me how like she had to move from one country to another. She lived in like 5 countries before she could come in Canada and settle here. And I asked her like, "Oh, okay, so where is home?" Really a hard question to answer if you have moved a lot. And at that moment, I literally could relate to her because I have moved 4 times in my life, but even within those 4 times, I have changed schools a lot. So let's get into my story at least, okay? So, for those who don't know me, again, my name is Esther. I was born in Burundi, was raised in Burundi until I left when I was 14 years old. Um, Even in Burundi, I changed schools multiple times. I think 4 or 5 times, and that was within I think from primary high school, from like kindergarten, I went to one school, and I went to another school from my first grade to second grade, and then from my third grade, I changed school, went to another school, where I stayed until grade 6, and then from grade 6, from grade 7 to grade 8, I went to another school, and when I finished grade 8, grade 9, and grade 10, I did it in another school. Then from grade 11, when I finished grade 10, I went to actually no, I did grade 9, and then grade 10, I moved on to another school, but this time the school was outside the country. I moved to Tanzania, and then from Tanzania, I stayed there for 3 years. From Tanzania, I went to Belgium. I stayed there for 2 years, and now I came to Canada, where I have been staying for 5 years now. It's going to be 5 years or 6 years. Wait, I came here 20. Yeah, it's going to be 6 years in December. Now, in all the moving that I did, age of 14, when you move, you're excited, because I was going to meet my father, my younger brothers, and during that time, Burundi was not a place to live. There was chaos, there was fights, there was like guerre, what's called it? There's a war. So yeah, technically the safest thing to do is to move. When I moved there, I went to a new school, a new environment, a new system. And as a kid, I was that kind of person who really wasn't open to talking to new people. You had to come and talk to me because I didn't know. I still don't know how to do that until this day. But yeah, like I couldn't just come to people and then just talk to them. And then on top of that, there was also a language barrier because they speak Kiswahili. I went there. I had to adjust. I had to like learn the new system. So I didn't even have time to process. Like that was such a big move, especially when you're 14. When I moved to Tanzania, in my mind I'm like, okay, we are here to stay. We are here. I'm going to build my friendship. I'm going to build my life here. Have like meaningful relationship because all throughout, even in Burundi, because I was moving schools a lot, I had to restart building friendship. At some point, even when I would go to a new school, I'd be like, you know what, this is just temporary. I'm gonna leave anyway. So, what's the good of making new friends, right? So when I went to Tanzania, I kind of felt like, okay, this is my place. This is my time. I'm just gonna take time and build friendship. To my surprise, no, I moved and went to Belgium. So when I went to Belgium, there's this habit that I adapted, not like unknowingly, because tellement like tellement my subconscious was already used to, oh, this girl, I'm not gonna stay longer, so what's the benefit of making friends? So when I moved to Belgium, that's when everything fell apart. Like my only like the most people I would spend time with was my siblings, because they're the ones who were at least consistent enough to stay in my life, because we were all moving together. Yo, it was very hard. Like now that I look back, sometimes I'm like, wow, it's good to go. You get exposed to culture, you get exposed to different ways of how people think. To some extent is good, but there's also a part of you that you lose on the way. I remember, I think 2 years or 3 years ago, I sat somewhere. I'm like, okay, Esther, do you really belong anywhere? Do I belong anywhere? Am I fully Burundian, or am I Tanzanian? Am I Belgian? Am I Canadian? I couldn't fit in any of them. I'm Burundian because yes, my blood is Burundian. Both my parents are Burundians. I do still have that Burundi, but like, can I really relate to them to the deeper level? Because I felt like I couldn't, and I couldn't relate with Tanzanians. I couldn't relate to be Belgian. I couldn't relate with anybody. So I had some type of like identity crisis. I'm like, girl, where do you belong? Where do you belong? Like, where is your home? Who do you, when people ask you, where are you from? What do you say? Okay, I would actually say I'm Burundian because, of course, I'm Burundian, but like, on a if I was to look deeper, I couldn't find myself. I couldn't find, and at some point, yeah, I was so frustrated. I'm like, why can't I feel like I belong in Burundi? Like, why can't I feel like I belong there while I'm like born there, raised there for 14 years? And then years passed by. I struggled with that. I was like, you know what? Every time I would go in another country, every time I would start to talk to like, start making friends, at the back of my mind, I knew that it was not gonna stay. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave. Like, I'm gonna leave. First 2 years in Canada. On the third year, I was so frustrated. I'm like, why can't I connect with people? Why don't I have a community? Why I have people around me, but I can't connect with them until I sat with myself. I'm like, Esther, there's something you need to like stop. You need to rewire your brain. You need to realize that yes, you have been moving a lot. Yes, you have lost friends. Yes, like friendship are not as solid as you would love to. But hey, you still need to connect. You still need like you still need that community. You still need people around you. So release that tension, release the feeling like, oh, you're gonna leave. Yes, you're gonna leave. Just live in the moment. I literally had to rewire that, and I had to learn what the question I asked my friend, like, where is your home? I had to dig deep and find that my home is actually within me. Like, I have to create the home for myself, because I can't say that my home is in Burundi. I feel like I feel like there's it doesn't make sense when I say my home is Burundi, or my home is Belgium, or my home is Tanzania, or my home is Canada, So it never really, I never feel like I belong anywhere, right? But I was like, you know what, I need to change that. I need to approach friendship in another light. Um I need to be vulnerable enough to share with the people, like make deep connection. If they go, that's okay. If I also go, that's still okay. Because I can't really survive just on my own. And even the Bible says, where there are two, like one is better than two. No, two is better than one. So I need people in my life. So right now, when my friend was like thinking about it, my answer to her was, you know what? I think for me at least, home isn't a place. Home is not like a country. It's not where I lived. It's actually where my family is, and it's the place I create. It's just not a particular place. It's where my favorite people are. So my favorite people are just my family, my cousin. Wherever they are, that is my home. So I might not fully feel Burundian, I might not fully feel Tanzanian, I might not fully feel Belgian, but I know where my family are, and that's where my home is. That's where my people are. Yeah, so there is, being always like the one who moves, like being the girl who never stays. It's emotionally exhausting. Um, like you don't, I don't know, you don't fully belong. And honestly, if it wasn't for God and knowing that I'm a child of God, I would probably have spiraled. And then also along the way, some period I asked myself, like, who are you? Like, who are you, not based on what people were telling me, but I don't know, I couldn't fit anywhere. So I don't know if I'm the only one who feels like that. How did this moving affect my relationship? It affect my relationship so much. Again, as I mentioned, it's like you never really deep you don't connect with people on a deeper level because you're like, oh, I'm gonna leave, like à quoi bon, à quoi sert, si je vais partir, à quoi sert d'investir dans une relation, like it doesn't make any sense, right? But no, no, we need people. So yeah, honestly, I just want to share to anyone who's feeling like they don't know where they are, they have moved a lot, they feel like they're missing, like they don't have a home. Your home is created. Home is where your favorite people are, and no matter where you are, you can always create a home. Like you can always create a home where you feel safe, where you feel, loved, and allow friendship, allow people to pour into you. Don't be like me because I spent so much time trying to, just trying to not really get attached to people because I knew I would actually leave before I left. Like emotionally, I will clock out before I physically left. Because again, that's how my brain was wired. And yeah, sometimes you're gonna really rewire. You're gonna have to sit enough with yourself, and tell yourself like, yeah, you need honestly. I don't know. We need people. We need people. We need people. I have literally, I can't emphasize this enough. You need people in your life. You need people who can support you, who can, be there. I just remembered actually there was a time I was telling my friend here in Canada, I was complaining to her. I'm like, you know what? I feel like there's something blocking me from making meaningful friendships. And that thing is the fear of just the fear of thinking, oh, I'm going to leave. So yeah, if you are somebody who have lived in a lot of countries and you feel like you don't belong anywhere, baby boy, baby girl, you do belong to the kingdom of God first. And also, it's okay. Be anchored in God. Honestly, be anchored in God, and define your home. To me, home is where my people are. So if that's the same with you, just know wherever your favorite people are, that's gonna be your home. Okay. All right, guys. I feel like I've rambled a lot. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye.